We're live.
You're listening to the We Talk Nerd podcast about gaming, movies, and everything nerd. I'm your host, Brandon.
I'm Andrew.
And I'm Rob.
And there's quite a bit of stuff to go through this week, but we'll see what games everybody's been playing and go from there. So, Rob, what's up?
Man, I've been playing some games that y'all wouldn't believe.
Y'all.
You ever heard of Octopath Traveler?
I have.
I've seen Co play it.
Me too. So now me play it.
Oh, you play it. Okay.
That scratched the nostalgic itch that I haven't had in quite some time. It looks just like a old Final Fantasy game, but it's called like 2D HD, and it's kind of at like a 3/4 perspective, and it is so beautiful, and I'm having fun with it, and I'll talk a little bit about it later. But yeah, that that really got me.
It kind of reminds me of like Paper Mario or something in a way.
Kind of, yeah. There's definitely some of that. There's some cool mechanics. I'll break those down a little bit later on. But that was, Paper Mario is probably pretty fair representation for it.
It's kind of hard to watch though.
Yeah, maybe. There's not a lot of action going on screen, but I tell you what, when you're playing with that, on the Switch and like you've got it handheld, it's really immersive, especially like good headphones because the music is so good. It's so good. I got back into the re-release of Shadow of War, so with the properly leveled Orcish invaders, so they're no longer coming in and waffle stomping me into the grates of the fortress I was trying to save, because no matter what, they find 5-level higher orcs to send in.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, so
it
was pretty
feed
cool.
them real money to defeat them, right?
Yeah, it feels like the game like I should have had, a year ago.
I wonder how the grind though at the end feels, because the end is a grind.
No, I'm like 78% of my way through the through that section, so I don't think there's too much left. Yeah, hopefully next week I'm reporting on actual finish of the entire game. Soup to nuts.
Nice.
Another finished game on the list for Rob. Man,
that's
crazy.
Oh, man.
We can't skip over that you played Destiny 2, Rob. Rob played Destiny 2. That's right. For maybe about 8 minutes, but he did
not well. How about that? Not well.
Not well.
Oh, I did. Yeah, and actually, there is something I'm extremely excited to talk about that I played, because we're like 2 weeks since the last show.
Yeah.
So there's 2 weeks of gaming. It's not like you can just be like, oh, I played 2 games and that's it.
Yeah.
I also played, and I'm really excited to talk about this, and I don't want to spoil too much stuff, but I played Fallout the board game.
Oh,
nice. Nice.
Yeah, and
awesome.
It's pretty sick. So I got a review of that a little bit later on.
Nice.
And I got actually a lot of gaming in at a con that happened last week, and I'll just wait because I think we're going to get into it. So
We are.
Andrew, what did you do last week?
Interesting enough, I played a little bit of Destiny 2. I played World of Warcraft and Warframe, all time syncs, and no time for any of the any other games like Switch or anything like that. So, enjoying a lot of Warframe because our communities really rallied behind the PC and PS4 clans, and they grew so much, and they're making their own dojos and growing so much. So I want to help out as much as I can. And I really enjoy Warframe a lot. World of Warcraft because the pre-patch came out, and it was a rough pre-patch launch, I can say the least. We'll probably maybe talk a little about that later. What do you think, Brendan? Or no? Do we have that time for that at all?
Yeah, I mean, sure.
If we do, yeah. And then, just making sure that we have our raid teams ready for BFA. That's me.
Yeah, me? I've kind of been doing the same thing minus the Destiny. But I kind of feel the opposite about Warframe, but we'll talk about that in a little bit too. But yeah, playing a lot of WoW. Been doing some pre-patch stuff, and now that pre-patch came out, we're in the pre-expansion stuff.
They need a better name for pre-patch. It's just something I don't know. Yeah.
But a lot of WoW stuff going on, and we did get a raid in there, so that was interesting. So. But yeah, let's go ahead and we got quite a bit to talk about, so let's go ahead and jump right in it. And since I don't know anything about this, wasn't there, this is going to be a story time with Rob and Andrew, and I'm just going to be like, yep, sounds good.
Sit down, relax.
Yes.
Sit down, relax.
Allow me to paint you a picture.
There it is.
Actually, I pasted a bunch of pictures in
You
chat.
pasted a bunch of pictures, so I feel like I was there.
Yeah.
So.
I posted a 360 picture of Ninja, so he got to see it. So yeah, let's talk about it. GuardianCon, Tampa, Florida, the pinnacle of PC and PS4 and Switch gaming.
Is that what they sold it as? I didn't know that.
No, I'm just trying to hype it up a little bit.
Okay, I got you. GuardianCon, obviously GuardianCon meaning Destiny 2. It started out, I think it was like 4 or 5 years ago, right? It started because of Destiny 2.
Yeah, it's always been in smaller venues. So when it was mainly focused on Destiny, it was struggling to find a lot of an audience. And when they opened it up to better games with more of a following, then
he didn't say that.
They were able to get more people to show up, and it was reflected in this year's because it's for charity. So they were actually able to raise over $2.7 million for St. Jude Hospital, which sounds like a lot of money. Can you guess how long they can run as an organization on that amount?
One day.
One day is the total is what it costs them to run. It's $2.4 million every day to run St. Jude Hospital. So, they do so much for so many, and it's really great that the gaming community is giving back.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. And it's because of the streamers that available to meet and greet, they did live streaming. They have hosts as well, like live hosts, and the whole thing was live streamed. At least the main stage and a couple other events. I think this year is obviously the best year. They had a better venue. They did a lot for, obviously, like they said, the charity. But again, like Rob said, is they got Ninja, they got Lupo, which is the two biggest streamers, I would say, to date.
Yeah,
in Tampa.
Yeah, they had like 1,000+ people waiting in line, and they cut it off. And it was just to go and shake hands with Lupo and Ninja, sitting side by side. To be fair, you got to meet both of them at the same time.
Absolutely, right.
And he did it 2 days in a row.
It's crazy. It's good times. But what we were there for, at least me specifically, I'm a Destiny fanboy.
What were you there for, Greedy?
Well, of course, I never went to a GuardianCon before, so I never been to a con before. So it's my first experience as a con. When I heard that Bungie was going to be there with the new Gambit mode, just to display, of course, and try out, I was really interested. With Rob, the amazing guy that waited in line for 3 hours for us to even see this and get our hands on it, that was an event for me because we got to see. It was only 2 places where you can you can get your hands on this is E3 and Tampa GuardianCon. Is get your hands on this mode before the release in Forsaken. How many like put downs did Rob say over the course of this about Destiny?
and
you mean in line?
Just in general.
In general,
to all the Destiny people around me.
Yeah.
So Andrew wouldn't know because, as he mentioned, I waited in line for 3 hours to play this mode.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew, how long did you wait in line to play this mode?
I don't know. Maybe around 45 minutes or something like that.
Wow.
But that's why I give so much respect for this guy. You know, so much respect. So thanks to him.
It was fine. So the way it worked out is my wife has a crush on King Gathalion, and she wanted to meet him. So she said, how are we going to meet him at GuardianCon? And I thought, well, they've got regular tickets, so we bought those. And later on, I'm like, I don't know if we'll be able to, I don't know how approachable they're going to be. So I went ahead and sprung for the VIP tickets. This is mainly for my wife, also for me to go and check out what VIP has to do. So I go on Friday, and which is the first day of the con, and I'm by myself flying solo. Gambit is there in line. I didn't really care. I figured I'd just wait for Andrew to play on Saturday. So pretty much I said, all right, Saturday is my waiting in line day with Andrew, and we're going to sit there and tell jokes and have fun, and then we'll go in and play Gambit together. So I just got everything out of my system that first day. So I went looking around for, okay, where's the streamers I want to meet? Some of the ones that are that showed up. So within maybe an hour, I had met 4 of my favorite streamers, with Darkness 429, Elohim, Gathalion, and I forgot. He must not be that famous or that much of a famous. I can't remember the other one. But it was really cool to meet those guys and be able to talk with them. And actually, I'm going to give a shout out to Elohim. He sat and talked with me for probably 5-10 minutes, just about going to Disney, and we both lost our kid in the boneyard, which is at Animal Kingdom, and we had a great time just chatting about that. So super nice guys. So I ended up spending 8 hours just doing stuff, watching things, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. That was on Friday. Yeah,
that was on Friday, and then Saturday I just said I'm going to go straight in and get in line and wait for this Gambit thing, and that began my wait.
Sounds like everybody else had the same idea.
Yes.
Oh,
everyone
absolutely.
else did.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah. So I don't want to talk too much about the. I'd rather go through a little more structured. So do we just want to get into Gambit mode now?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the big thing. Let's do it then.
All right. So first of all,
it sucked.
the experience of being there into an event where Bungie employees are there to explain it to you. And
Cosmo, that's what I meant to say. Cosmo.
Well, there was a
not
Cosmo.
A streamer,
Cosmo
but a nice guy.
Yeah, and then so they explained before we got into the event. They explained exactly what was going on, and I don't want to go into much detail, but because it was a long explanation. But getting into the game, 4v4, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We were given a spot, a build. We didn't get to choose our classes. They were set. You can't change anything in your classes. I specifically got a Void Dancer Hunter.
You stopped at the Hunter?
I stopped at the Hunter because I made sure I got the Hunter.
Yeah, yes. So they were like, here's your 4 classes, and you walk in order, and you go to your station. Andrew stopped early.
I stopped early.
Meanwhile, I walked to my station, which was the Warlock, which in this particular role is just like a buff healer guy. And that's really all I got to do, other than get totally owned, because I don't play Destiny nearly enough.
Buff heals.
There was also the Titan. I guess we would call that a Striker Titan, but it was the Superman Titan super. And then there was another Warlock of the same class. So it was on the other side. I assume that they had the same. I don't really know. But getting into it, they started right away. I would say, first you're thinking, okay, well, we have no idea what kind of strategy you're going for. That is either to collect motes or or basically go on the other side and
Let's
try to
talk in
PvP.
kind of a high level thing what this thing is.
Okay,
because,
sure.
Because I think what you're trying to do is think of it as like kind of a MOBA in some ways. Like you're kind of farming for materials, and then you bank them. And as you bank them, you end up unlocking stuff. So eventually what happens is you end up unlocking a boss that you need to shoot down. But as you're going through it, you can also be sending, enemies to the other team, or you can be, allowing for this thing called invasion mode, which Andrew will talk about, I'm sure. And
My favorite
or
part.
you can just be, or you can just send. What was the other thing you could bank for? Blockers. So
Yes,
you got the
blockers.
blocker enemies, you got the invasion, and then you had the primeval at the end, which is basically once you bank enough, you summon a boss, you fire him down. If you're the first one that fires him down, you win the game.
You win that round. Yep, you win that round. It's best
Yeah,
2
that
out of
round.
3.
Yeah.
Yep. So there's some very specific things about the moats and how you bank them. Like it's 5, 10, and 15. If you bank 5, you send a smaller blocker, and each blocker, by the way, will retract the other side's bank until, of course, they kill the blocker, and then the bank comes back up so that they can distribute or they can bank some moats. So obviously, will delay them from getting further and further into summoning their primeval. So, with the moats, if you die with the moats, you lose the moats. They're gone. And to get moats, you're killing enemies, and when you're killing enemies, a moat drops. They are on the floor for a specific amount of time, and they disappear. So you just have to get them.
But Andrew, how are AI bots gonna make me die? I'm totally invincible in Destiny.
You're not. That's for
Fair
sure.
point.
What do you
So what I was trying to get you to talk about was the invasion part.
Oh, absolutely. So in specific parts of, I think it's 25, 50, and 75 modes, you open a gate on your side so that one person on your side, the invader, will go into the other side's area and then try to kill them. Now they don't see you on the radar, but you see all of them. They are flagged on your screen. You can see exactly where they are. You go toward them. You'll have a specific amount of time to try and kill them. Obviously, I picked the Warlock, the Void Dancer, for this specific reason, because that class, you can go instantly invisible as you start your super, and you can just sneak up on them, and then you can slash them with one hit, and they're dead. I wiped the whole team one time, and I haven't felt that like amazing experience since Trials D1. That's how good it felt.
Yeah.
And of course you get sent back. Then you're on the path of collecting motes again to get that primeval. Now a very interesting point, and then Rob, if you want to touch on this, when the primeval is
I got
up,
stuff to say.
go ahead, go for it.
Oh no, go ahead.
So when you summon your primeval and during the invasion at the same time, so when your primeval is up, or sorry, when their primeval is up at the other side, your gate opens. It's consistently open. It's constantly open, so that you can send an invader through and then try to interrupt them trying to kill their primeval first. If you do kill a person on the other side while their primeval is up, it restores HP to that boss. So you can just keep killing it and try to prolong it until your side defeats the primeval first.
So I'm going to speak in Brandon words right now.
It's great.
So imagine you were raiding in WoW, and you were the Alliance, and let's say the Horde could send one guy in, and for everyone he killed, it would add health back to your raid boss you're trying to kill.
Yep.
It was so disruptive, and it just totally threw us off because we're like, what the hell is going on? People are getting gunned down, and
Yep.
and then
Yep.
Andrew was that guy for the other team. So
Really
it was
great.
that added a lot of chaos to it, and you got to be on your toes the whole time. So even as a probably the biggest Destiny 2 fan on this podcast, I would probably
Definitely.
yeah. I would
Good stuff.
probably say that I have had more fun with that session of Gambit than I had with anything else about the game.
The entire
That's
entire
saying
time
something.
it's been
That's
out.
saying something, though.
Yeah.
It
But is it enough?
Well, that's what I want to get into next because we talked about some of the dynamics, and if we get any questions from chat, more than happy to talk about what our experience was, or maybe to answer some questions. But I feel like, when you're playing like Rainbow Six Siege, and you see like just a group of people with like the same name tag in front, and you're like, oh, this is a clan I'm up against. I feel like you have to have that good communication, and if you don't in this, you're at a severe disadvantage. Like if you're in a pickup group, you're already down like quite a bit.
Yeah. Either there's going to be matchmaking for this. We don't know, by the way. Either there's going to be matchmaking for this event, or it's going to be like trials where you have to have a pre-made group to enter. I don't know which one they're going to do. I assume they're going to do both for this, because this mode, everyone should be able to do it.
Yep.
And see it.
The second biggest thing that people wanted to talk about was the bow. Can we talk about the bow?
Destiny's got a bow now?
It does have a bow. Yeah. Go for it. I didn't try it.
It's a bow. I didn't like it. What it is it's like a precision weapon at like close to medium range is what I felt like. So I don't really think you can. I mean, I guess you could snipe with it, but it's got like a bullet drop, like very pronounced as the arrow goes out. But it's super powerful. So if it hits someone, you can probably drop them pretty quick, especially with a headshot. But I found it very underwhelming, considering there was the next big thing that people need to know about, but maybe didn't know, is that the Titan can actually go like straight on Superman and like fly with with his arms extended and just like crash into the ground, and like it's like a meteor went off, like right in the group that he lands on. It to me is one of the best feeling or best looking aspects of this new expansion.
You wouldn't see it coming too. It's just like,
there
he
fast.
is.
It's just all of a sudden it's like dude with like his arms outstretched, like smashing in the ground in front of you, and you're just dead.
You're dead. Yeah. So there's a couple new supers. We mentioned the Superman Titan. We mentioned the Void Dancer, which is basically your stealther.
Yeah, so the Void Dancer, I just wanted to talk about it. So for the Hunter, you do go invisible, so that's kind of cool. You go almost like Predator invisible, like you're kind of like this Ripley effect. But as you're going through and like slicing, because it's just like these blades, and you're just like swinging them around, is like you're like doing like cartwheels and like somersaults and stuff, and like kind of ballerina your way around, and it actually looks really, really cool. Like I don't know how they get it to look as unique as they do, because it really did look very. It looked so unique when I saw it happen. I couldn't really believe it. I was like.
For me,
it
that would
just repetition.
True. For me, that seems like the new PvP for me. Like just playing that class right there. There was the Warlock one. You want to describe that a bit?
Yeah,
it's completely not for PvP.
Yeah. It's like all your friends like get to do something awesome, and then you're kind of stuck. Like, so basically, I got to throw my stick in the ground, and when that happened, it made this little bubble in which people could stand in and get heals. But it didn't seem to help anything, because as soon as you moved out of it, like nothing really happened. It would help a little bit of damage. It's going to be great for like PvE, but in PvP I was totally at a disadvantage, especially against like someone would come in and like it was on cooldown. I'm just like a normal dude with a gun, and they're just coming in void dancing their way over me or Supermaning into my face, and I'm just like, what am I supposed to do? So I tried to just be, backup heals, try to keep the bank clear. That was my role. I don't know why Andrew lost us those 2 games, but we did not win the.
We won 1 game.
We did. I got a feeling that was gifted, so that we'd go to game 3. There was a strategy for people online that was.
If you won,
the second game on purpose.
you lose the second game on purpose, so you can play a little
longer.
Yeah.
Smart.
Yep. So they had a championship go. They had Bungie community leaders and developers, and then they had the community play, and that happened on Friday night. It was pretty cool, a lot of fun. Mr. Fruit, a very popular streamer, did 4 headshots in a row with the pulse rifle that even I, as the biggest Destiny 2 fan on this podcast, thought was pretty impressive. So I was excited to see that. But ultimately, I think it's pretty telling that the people that won were the Bungie developers, who have come in with all their meta knowledge and min maxing, and already knew how to do it. So
Just explain something in chat where
we got a
he
question in
asked,
chat.
yeah.
Let's just take it up.
Yeah, were you able to change your classes to experience different supers, or just play one game?
Yeah, we were locked. We were locked into the particular class and the subclass, so I could not change out of mine. I could change my loadouts, and that was kind of cool. Andrew, I don't know if you changed much, but I was able to swap some things around, and I didn't go too far into it because I really liked that pulse rifle I had.
I used an auto rifle for my primary, and I used a sniper for my secondary, which I really wanted. That was my bread and butter for D1, and then I had a tracking rocket for my heavy. That, of course, you can all change that around if you'd like, but the idea is that I wanted my sniper, and that felt so good in my secondary slot. I'll just say that.
Yeah. So we were 400 light level, and yeah, it was all pretty nice. We were geared up.
Fantastic.
So anything
mode.
else you want to talk about that before we move on to?
No, I think we covered everything.
Games?
Honestly, yeah, I think we covered everything. Of course, like I said before, if you have more questions about Gambit, we'd love to answer them in the Discord as much as possible. I mean, just at We Talk Nerd hosts, and that's all three of us, and then we'll talk about it.
Yep, and if you're in the tower or you frequent there, I put up a couple pictures, so feel free, go and check those on out. But
feel free to ignore those.
Yeah, feel free to ignore those, like
no.
everyone else is doing. You can @Froham me, and I'll put them back up if you guys can't see them.
Awesome.
So it wasn't just all Destiny, and I think that was one of the misconceptions about GuardianCon. There was a pretty heavy Warframe presence.
Yes.
And they actually brought out a unique mode I've never seen before called Frame Fighter. Have you ever heard of this?
Nope.
So basically, it's like Street Fighter, but you're using like Warframe characters on either side, and it was kind of impressive looking. Like it was fast, but it was basically you would just play as a particular frame and just have a series of different moves and everything. But the fact that they're able to add that on as like another, gameplay style, I thought was pretty unique. They also had the nicest lounge. So they had like a lot of like plush chairs that kick back in and, hang out. So
actually,
Warframe,
I think someone in the community also, they went to GuardianCon and they sat there for a while and they played Frame Fighter. They talked to some of the community people and they were given free platinum. For the game and everything, just for hanging out, talking to them, playing the game, giving some feedback and stuff. So, I mean, of course, I think Warframe just does everything, at least the community thing, right? Because it seemed very comfy there as well.
Yeah, it wasn't the draw that Gambit was, but Digital Extremes, they have a solid product, a very good game. May not be for everyone, but they were there to support, and they actually made a $50,000 donation on top of everything else they did for the con, directly to the fundraising. So
wow,
really nice folks, and you can't say enough about that. But we have. So the next game that I
skip right over, or do you want to?
Well, do you have anything else on Warframe you want to talk about?
No. I'm actually interested in what you're going to say about Realm Royale.
Yes, Realm Royale. So I actually was one of the 10 people in the audience for the charity drive on the Realm Royale, where King Gathalion and who was it? Darkness were up there playing and trying to win in a duos. So Realm Royale is a battle royale game, like anything else, but it's kind of unique in that it almost looks like a World of Warcraft battle royale. Like you've got mounts, and you've got like old time like hunter guns and swords and axes and different things.
It's very interesting looking.
It's interesting looking. I think it plays pretty fast. I'm kind of interested to check it out, and I was able to check it out there. The lines were they just made it wide open, so they had their section, and what they did is they set up like 10 PCs, sit down and play. There was no line, no queue, anything like that. It was just like, just sit behind some people. As soon as they're done with their game, you go in next and you start playing. So they were promoting their new season where they've got some new gear and different things that go in. I was surprised at just how polished this game looks for being such a new release. And there's already some strats out there I just can't believe. Like King Ithalian, he's such, besides being like kind of the face of Destiny on Twitch, he's also such a good gamer just in general. So he was able to do some movement stuff that I just couldn't believe. Like he was on a mount, and he would jump, and then he would like rocket up in the air with his like charge move, and then he would use like another warrior ability to like cover even more ground. So there's some strats in the game that people can take advantage of if they're crafty.
No, definitely about the Realm Royale. The difference when he says abilities, like in classes, that's the whole difference between different BRs and this BR.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
Yeah.
So they got warrior, assassin, wizards, and what was the other one?
Oh, I don't know.
It might just be those three.
Yeah.
But it's a free-to-play game, so if you're interested in battle royales, I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't check it out.
Yeah, just check it out, right? Yeah, it's the worst.
Yeah,
the hotness.
Yeah, and they've got some, if you want to, if you're into it, they had some new season stuff where they had some gear where it basically looked like dino armor. Like they had like red scaly leather with like Stegosaurus spikes sticking out of the back. It was pretty cool, and apparently it was kind of unique for just them to have it. It was kind of kicking that off. So another,
any other main stage stuff?
Oh yeah, I saw a ton of stuff. So in addition, Warframe was on there. Dauntless, you and I watched that for just a brief little bit. I'll get into a little bit of the other stuff that was going on. Ninja had that Fortnite. I did not watch it, but he had a Fortnite run where as people would donate, they could take away abilities for him. So, like if you donated a certain amount, he would drop all of his guns. If you donate a certain amount, he wouldn't be able to build anymore. So at the end of the game, he's got bandages and a pickaxe, and he's trying to beat the game. And he actually placed top 10 on that.
Wow,
it was absolutely insane. Yeah. So, I mean, accidentally, he's an amazing player. So I've got all the respect in the world for Ninja. So there was a meet and greet session there where you for free, because most cons you got to pay. You want to go meet like someone famous or whoever, you pay some amount, and you go get in line, you wait, and you shake their hand, you get something signed, and you're gone in a couple seconds.
Yeah.
Ninja, for 3 hours each day, so that's 6 hours total over a two-day period, sat at a table right next to Lupo and met with like 1,000 people in line, and everybody came by to there were so many kids in line with that dyed blue hair,
right?
Just going up to meet them. And he was in there shaking their hand, signing whatever they wanted signed, talking with them. Yeah. Well, I'm sure they had their stuff, but when you've got that kind of devotion to your fans, like I'll be honest, I could kind of, I don't really care too much about Ninja. Like I didn't get in line to go shake his hand or anything, but I'm impressed at his desire to,
be there for the community.
That role model, right? He's there for the community. He raised funds for GuardianCon. He devoted an entire stream to it and raised over $350,000 on his own. I mean, it's the character of the guy is, in my mind, I'm more of a fan of his after this than I was before. Before, I just thought he was an amazing player of Fortnite, but I think it may be.
I totally agree with that. For the Destiny people, I saw Dado, and he was meeting with a bunch of people. I just read today on Destiny, the subreddit, Destiny game subreddit, that he's like the superstar of that because he met with them, talked with them even more, and then like they didn't have, I don't think he had a session. He just went out on the floor and started meeting with people. He
had a session, but it was like not scheduled at the same time as the others.
Right, and then also with My Name Is Bife was there as well. So there's a bunch of other Destiny streamers that would very, very cool. I didn't get to meet any of them, but I obviously saw them around and everything, so I didn't want to wait in line.
So I mentioned that my wife really wanted to meet King Ithalian, and she, so we both showed up on Saturday, and she was like getting checked in or something. So her whole purpose for going to this thing was to meet King Ithalian, just say, "Hey, I really like your stream, and we should go to Disney and drink sometime." So we thought, okay, it's going to be like hours. We got to find the right time to go do this. She ended up meeting him on the way into the con, getting a picture with him, having a conversation with him, And then once she got in and found me again, she was like, I'm kind of ready to go. So she was kind enough to hold Andrew's spot in line.
Thank you
for Gambit.
Shout outs to Michelle.
But yeah, shout outs to Mrs. Froham.
Yep.
Going in and being focused on the prize and getting that. She also got some pictures with Darkness. Super nice guy. He was really, really. He was actually the first person I met. And I wasn't quite sure what to say because I'm older than any of them. I'm like,
say, Timmy, what's up, man?
Yeah, what am I supposed to say? So I was just like, well, I really like your stream. And my wife does too. And that was it. Like I couldn't think of like anything nice to say. So then I'm like, oh man, I'm being such a nerd around these guys. Then I see Goth, right? Like King Goth, and I'm like, oh, all right, well he's right there. I'm gonna go say hi and go shake his hand. So I walk up to him, my hand outreach, like shake his hand. And he
gives it a hug,
brushes my hand away and like just hugged me.
Yeah, he's a hugger.
Like he just wrapped his arms. It was like I thought I was gonna get passionate like right then and there. Like it was amazing. So, he made me feel so welcome, and that tells you like what kind of person he is too. He's definitely all about the fans, and that for me was something I'm gonna always take away from this particular GuardianCon. And I talk about him all the time. I don't know if you guys ever watch him. He's on really early in the morning, but Elohim, he's kind of a streamer that a lot of other people look up to. Like they got him into it because he's been streaming for like 6 years. Like he was there like when Twitch first started. And, the line wasn't too long for him, sadly. I think if people really knew him, knew what a nice guy he was. But he and I got a chance to talk and everything, and it was really cool. And it's really nice seeing, Tampa folks being out there and, kind of representing. I'm surprised at just how much Twitch streamers with like big viewer counts are here in the Bay Area.
And some of them moved here too. So yeah, that's to say anything about Tampa. Mm-hmm. All right, man, GuardianCon. There's a lot of stuff here because we still got more to talk about here. Merchandise.
About the podcast though. You're like, hey, podcast that. We're talking.
I did rock my PixelPub T-shirt the entire day. You know how many people asked me about it?
None.
No one.
None. Not a one.
We did see some good. We did see some great pictures of some other. I think Zombie was there and he showed his PixelPub T-shirt off. I was pretty good. I love it.
Oh, that's awesome! Shout out to Zombie for that. Another thing is, have you guys ever heard of Game Attack?
No.
So during my journey on Friday solo through GuardianCon, I actually got a chance to check out this game show on the main stage called Game Attack. And what they do is it's two hosts, and they ask like gaming related questions, and they bring people up on stage and make them play games against each other for prizes. So what's really funny is that sometimes the prizes are absolutely terrible, and like they have these like skits where they ask this guy this question, he answers correctly. He goes up on stage. He's got to play cluster truck, and he's got to get like a certain number of points or whatever to win. He gets all that. Like, okay, great. Here's your prize. And he opens it up, and he's like it's a toy car, and it's like it's broken. And they're like, yes, but it's not the toy car. It's what the toy car represents. And he's like, tell him what he's won. And the other announcer's like, it's that broken toy car. You smashed it in the back of the stage before the show. You were laughing about it. He goes, I don't remember that. Then they cut to like a video of him like throwing it down and like stomping on it and laughing. So these guys are kind of cringy, kind of funny. Game Attack I thought was interesting. I'm going to check them out. But yeah, it was kind of fun. And they gave away a ton of good prizes. Life-changing prizes is what they kept saying. Some guy won a full set of SteelSeries RGB series peripherals. So you got a keyboard, mouse, mouse pad.
Really upset about the guy that got the toy car.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And some people won some nice, so there was a ton of merchandise there. Probably the biggest one I would say was DX Racer. They make the chairs. Mm-hmm. So they were giving a discount for everyone there. They also gave away one of the chairs on the show to that guy that won all that other stuff. So he got like so much stuff from that. They also showed their gaming desk, which is kind of like a low profile. They had a lot of people streaming on it. It was pretty cool. What I was most impressed with is this place called Misty Mountains, which you guys have heard of from like Lord of the Rings. Mm-hmm. They make these I don't know if I want to call it handcrafted, but this like aluminum dice that are super heavy and like super high quality with like enamel in them. and I was just so blown away. I was like, I had to pick them up.
I talked to the guy for a little bit too. I picked some dice up. I knew that that was a quality product right there. Quality.
Yep. In addition to that, they were doing pre-orders for the Scuff Vantage PS4 controller. Scuff, if you don't know, that's kind of like a Pro Series controller, and there was some super sick ones on sale there. And on the podcast, you won't be able to hear it, but Brandon, I linked you a picture of the Scuff controllers with the different
they look interesting
options. Yeah, those are all soft series, so you can actually they have kind of a spongy material on it. And if you notice, the headset jack is on the front of it, so you're not sitting trying to fumble around. Or what you can kind of see, but maybe not too clearly, especially on that middle picture, is that they have back paddles for being able to select without taking your hands off or your thumbs off the joysticks. So it was kind of cool. And I tell you what, I couldn't get to the front of that line the entire time I was there. It was packed with people just throwing money down for these $200 controllers.
Yeah.
It was
I have to say, the ones on the left in this picture look like Xbox controllers.
Some of them do, but it's
the ones on the right. They look, but the ones on the left are very big and remind me of Xbox.
Yep. And then Bungie was there. Okay, moving on to the next thing.
Oh no, oops. That's fine though. We talked a lot about GuardianCon. I would say next year I'll be there. To say that if anyone wants to, obviously visit Tampa, we'll be more than happy to meet you and greet you there.
Yep.
So that's next year.
Super affordable con, $25-$30, something like that to go.
Yeah.
You get a whole day of enjoyment out of that. And if you're wanting to just go in and get some swag, I got a couple of Destiny 2 lanyards. Put them right in the garbage, but I was giving them.
Rob.
Oh man.
Rob. Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
He said garbage, but he handed one to me. Is my hand garbage? Is that what you mean? No.
Kind of.
Oh. It was nice.
Anyway,
I still kept
had a
it.
great time, and yeah, for not having gone to too many other gaming conventions before, it was a nice event. I would have liked to see more merchants there, more people selling stuff, but otherwise, I had a great time. It was really cool.
Too.
The Buccaneers were there too. Wasn't going to bring that up too much. They had a Madden RV where you could go into the RV and sit in this little theater thing in the back of it and just play Madden.
That's kind of cool.
You could walk in anytime because there wasn't really ever a line for it. But it was cool. It was nice to see the support.
All right. GuardianCon.
All right. So now we're out of GuardianCon.
We're out of there.
And that was a good whopping 40 minutes of talk.
Oh, jeez.
Oh man. Yeah.
Good stuff though. It's good stuff.
Well, I've got more gaming news.
Yeah.
And this one I thought was important enough that we had added on, because I figured we'd just talk mainly GuardianCon for this one.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
But this one's important, and I think it's near and dear to Brandon's and my heart. Middle Earth: Shadow of War removed microtransactions from the game. So yeah, so that was kind of cool. They converted all my gold into a single gold box, which I unlocked and got a couple of decent things out of. It wasn't too bad. But the most important thing is that the new stage 4 is no longer way over leveled for me, because every time I would play and people would invade my bases, they were 5 levels above me, no matter what. I don't know where they find these orcs.
Yeah.
It's like a factory of them, just 5 levels higher than everything I've got. So they're actually my level now, and I hate to say it, it was a little too easy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But
yeah?
there's supposed to be a grind, though. There's supposed to be a grind, and that's fine.
I think they took the grind away.
Yeah.
But
Well,
maybe that's right, because the game's grindy as it is.
That whole last chapter was put in the game to get money out for microtransactions. And
Yeah.
if I've quit the game once I got there. I wanted to experience the game as everything but that. And I think everything but that was great. And now that they've kind of took the grind out of it, this game it's a good game.
If they didn't have that grind, it might have been Game of the Year type of candidate, because there are some amazing WTF moments in the game, from a storyline. I still can't believe the end of Act 3. Like that's still like
There's
blows
some
my
crazy
mind.
stuff goes on, dude.
And
Especially
I did
if you
not
like Lord
watch.
of the Rings.
Yeah, I did not watch the video for the end of Act 4 or 5 or whatever it is now. So I'm looking forward to the end of this and like finishing the game. But yeah, it should have never been in the first place, and I'm disappointed that they even put it in. But I'm glad they're finally making it right. So
to close it out
listen,
though,
never pre-order games. Always wait a year to play the games you buy.
but pure Anthem. But so this one game, this game right here, I don't have it. Should I now order this?
Yes, I can confidently recommend
There
this
it
game.
is.
What do you think, Brandon?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Recommended. There it is, guys. There it is.
Recommended.
I'd recommend it before to just not do that, but yeah,
But now,
even better.
All
For the
right.
best. Maybe this is it smells like the end of maybe this forced microtransaction wave that's come through this year.
I hope
and
so.
late
I
last
really
year.
hope so. But Assassin's Creed had a ton of that stuff, and they're coming right along with the new one. So I don't know that they're going to
Assassin's Creed,
change
though,
that.
it was like all cosmetic, I felt.
No, not really, because those materials, like they were sometimes
Oh.
difficult to get, like materials to upgrade your stuff.
I never had problems with the materials.
You had to go like raid a whole bunch of merchants or whatever to get them all, right?
I just did like I don't know. You did a lot of just main quest pushing, but I did like all the side quests and 100%ed it, and I had no problem with materials.
Yeah, I started going insane. I just couldn't. I couldn't do it. There's
a
so
long-
many side quests.
It's a long game.
All right. So
Right,
I think
moving
that's
on.
I think that's our gaming talk news wise. I've got a
News-wise.
couple of reviews if you guys are down.
Yeah, might as well.
So I played a game called Fallout the board game, which was really so enjoyable. I had no idea I was going to have this much fun playing it. What they do is they take scenarios from Fallout 3 and 4, including DLC, like the Pit, if you guys remember that one.
Oh yeah, Fallout 3 is
And-
really fun.
Recently announced, in fact, like 2 days ago, they announced that they are bringing out a New Vegas expansion. So for fans of New Vegas, which is the best Fallout, that is going to be added, to the game as an expansion. So what you do is you have these like tiles that you shuffle up, and it randomizes the encounters and locations, and it tells you what kind of enemy is going to come out of it. So you might get a bloatfly, right, or a Mirelurk, or or a Deathclaw. What they
man.
do is they put the really tough bosses together. So I saw this Deathclaw one, and when we flipped it over, because what happens is you reveal the board, and it spawns an enemy, and that enemy is kind of like randomized. And we're like, oh no! And it was like you do this thing which activates the enemies on the board, and it's like activate your Deathclaw. We're like, oh no, because as soon as they get activated, they start hunting for the closest survivor.
Mm-hmm.
So we flip it over. It wasn't a Deathclaw; it was a glowing one. Which, if you guys know, is
from 4,
the worst
yeah.
thing you want to see is that super irradiated ghoul running
no.
around looking for you. So you can find, earn, and steal loot to upgrade your dude. So you can
Fantastic.
get guns and different things, armor. You can also gain followers, of all different types. You can play as a super mutant. You can play as a Brotherhood of Steel. You can play as like a Vault Survivor. There's a whole bunch of different options.
Why even buy the video game?
Why
Yeah.
even?
Why?
You can. So one thing that the scenario that we played, and I don't want to give too many spoilers if people want to play, but we played the scenario where it was basically from 4, which you're either siding with the Institute or you're siding with the Brotherhood.
Still, yeah.
And the choices you make affect the gameplay and win conditions. Because if you end up favoring one side too much, they become too powerful and the game's over.
Wow.
And you could be affiliated to like either side. And even if you're affiliated with a certain side, like them winning is considered just no one wins because it's just like pure like taking
Yeah.
over. Think of like
Yeah, taking
Caesar,
over. Yeah.
right? Caesar in like New Vegas, where he would just like basically destroys the.
I'm sure there's a time mechanic to that too. That's the whole point, right? is-
Definitely, yeah.
right,
That's
okay.
the ticking clock that goes along
Cool.
with it.
Very
So-
cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So there was a little bit of repetition because when you go into encampments or ruins, you draw a card to see, okay, well, what's happening in this scenario. There's only like 10 cards for each one. I should add, though, as you expand more of the story, they start sliding in cards, and there's like hundreds of cards that could get slid in there. Unfortunately, not that many got slid in. So we end up seeing a lot of the same cards over and over again, where You go in, you can steal this or you cannot steal this. So I'm going to knock it down a little bit for that because it got kind of repetitive.
Okay.
But overall, it was so much fun. It was really, really a good time. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10, mainly due to the repetition. Otherwise, it's so enjoyable, and if you've got a gaming group, you should certainly go with that.
Can I be part of that gaming group?
I'm curious how this would work with people who don't play Fallout.
Oh, so I have a little bit of anecdote. I didn't want to get too much into it, but yeah, one of the folks, or one of the players was my friend's wife, and she's never played Fallout a day in her life, so she's got no idea how this stuff goes. She found it enjoyable, but she was like, kind of like, why are you guys all freaked out when we saw them flip over the death claw piece? So there's some meta that goes with it for like an enjoyment standpoint, because like if you see a death claw, it's not real, right? so tread lightly. She just looked at it and was like, oh, it's just another enemy. No.
That's not.
You clearly haven't had one rampage through your screen and just like wreck you. But yeah, fantastic game. If you're into board games, it may be like board game of the year type of candidate. It's that good. It's so much fun and it's fairly reasonable. I want to say like $40 to $50. So for a board game, especially a licensed one, not bad. Not bad from a investment standpoint.
Nice. I want to hear about Warframe, Brandon. Tell me about your experience in Warframe.
Are we going to listen about Octopath first?
We could, but Rob's talked a lot.
I've talked. I've talked too much.
I want to give him a little break, and then then we can do that.
All right, so I'll talk a little bit about Warframe. And in no way am I saying that when I go into this precursor, I'm not saying this game's bad or that no one should play it. I'm just saying from my personal standpoint, I so far have not had a lot of fun.
That's heresy. Get off of this podcast immediately.
I know a lot of people in the community are passionate about it. I've got in the clan, been in the Discord, and people enjoy it and I like it a lot. But me personally, yes, I'm not a big into the grindy games anyway. Mm-hmm. And I know that's where a lot of the free-to-play games get their bread and butter, is just grinding a lot.
You play
that
WoW.
Is the epitome of
WoW.
I mean, WoW is grindy to a sense, like you just level and then there is
it's a different type of grind.
Yeah, it's a different type of grind. Whereas Warframe, completely different.
I've been doing WoW for a long time, but my biggest problem with Warframe is that if I play a shooter, I want it to be kind of a fun shooter, and I didn't really have fun with the combat and the shooting in this game.
I'll be honest with you, the movement feels weird.
The movement.
It takes some time.
It does get used to. I read about the movement, so I got the whole the
dash
control space thing that you do, and you fly around. That's fun. That's really cool. Like you right click and you do like a matrix glide. That's really fun.
Yeah.
The mechanics and movement is really fun and cool, but I don't like the shooting. I don't like the melee.
I'll put it this perspective. Yeah. I said this before the show too. It's like you have your set weapons, you have your set frame. Now I'll just put this perspective. Every frame plays differently. They all have their different abilities. They all have a different strengths. Mods you adding onto your frame also changes a little bit of the gameplay and adds to your power. The next thing is your weapons, and you would level them up, and the type of weapon you get. That changes your gameplay completely. When I first started, I was just hooked onto the actual movement, and then when I started leveling stuff up, I started, okay, I could get into this. But when I got my new weapon and when I got a new gun, everything changed because you get more and more powerful, and you started really getting into missions that are waves of enemies that are coming at you. It's sort of like Diablo, honestly. And if you can, like, as a ninja, just slash everything and kill 10 enemies, it feels so satisfying. I'm not sure if you experienced that yet.
No, I did a couple. I did the little main, what I figure is the main thing. And then now I'm at a point where it's like I have to go do so many checkmates to open up the next thing. And I don't really like being gated like that.
Okay.
And yeah.
It's honest. It's honest.
You gave
fair
it a
enough.
shot,
Right.
I might keep playing a little bit, see if I get better. It is free to play, so I'm not going to knock it. It's a free game. I didn't spend anything on it. So,
yeah.
Well, like for instance, like I would say, at some point, you get to go fly in space. You can be your own space combat, mech. That just, to me, is just like they're just adding more stuff in the game. There's bosses in the game. There's a single player boss that you have to fight to get stuff. Like it's just really interesting layout of a
It just
game.
feels like it could be fun if you had the time to pour a lot of hours into it. Which just I'm very limited on the gaming hours I have.
Right.
And games where I'm like, oh yeah, this game's really fun after the first 150 I can't do that.
No, I totally agree. Yeah,
You'd put 150 into a Fallout, though. I know you would.
I do. I have actually. I have a little over 150 in Fallout 4. So
yeah, sure.
It's good to hear an honest review, especially from a new player. Maybe even Warframe themselves can heed something from new players trying to get into it for such a large, grindy game.
I don't know if they've ever changed. I know the game came out 2013, 14, something like that.
Yeah, it's been out for a little while.
I don't know if they've ever changed their intro into the game.
They did.
It does kind of feel dated. The visual, some of the visuals don't look great. Besides, like, you look great, your ship looks great. The enemies look blah.
Yeah, some of them are not. Yeah, it's. I played through the main tutorial and everything a couple years ago, and I played it through recently, and it's the same. So
yeah, it's not the same. It's not.
You sure?
I'm
they
pretty
put a little
sure.
thing on your leg.
But like the graphics are much better.
Oh no, but I mean just the gameplay.
Oh,
the story.
Okay, I see.
Like it felt the same. Like I expect. I mean, it's I'll be honest with you, and I don't want to go too much into it because I've played so limited of it. But I feel like you get what you pay for in some ways.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, they keep up with it, and I think if you really want to have some fun, you'd probably have to put a couple bucks in there to really trick out your character and make it look cool.
Which I did.
I think that's fair to ask.
I did that. And also, I would say the very last thing, is it's much better with a clan and people that help you along the way, because this is a social game. It's just like Destiny.
Do we know?
It's just like Destiny. Yeah, we have.
Is there even a clan that we could talk to?
Absolutely. In the Discord, PixelPub clan, PC, PS4. Let's go. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So it's much better experience with people.
We love you, Warframe clan.
We do.
PixelPub.
We absolutely do.
Yeah. No hate you guys.
Now that let's just let Rob talk some more. That's fine.
I don't want to just do so.
You can save it for next week if you want. But
this game snuck up on me.
There you go.
It snuck up on me. Co was playing it, and it looked too good for me to just ignore it, because I'm like, man, that game looks amazing. That looks like old school Final Fantasy. Well, it turns out it is.
It is.
That's exactly what it is. It's old school Final Fantasy, but presented in like a new way. It's called what they call 2D HD. So
it's very shiny 2D.
It's very shiny. They've got this whole like depth of field type of thing where there's like fog effects and some lens flares and stuff going off, and it's just like things are shining off of stuff in the background, like way in the distance, but it feels like an old school Final Fantasy game. So for me, that was what I grew up with, and I'm that music is straight out of Final Fantasy. So I was so impressed with what I saw that I ended up buying it on the spot and just started playing. The way that it works is you play as one of 8 different adventurers, and they have intertwining stories. It doesn't matter who you start with. You can play as all 8 in a single playthrough. So eventually you can meet up and form a group with this other person or this other adventurer, and then you can share their story. And then you have a party like you always do, 3 or 4 people in a party, and you can build it based upon that. So I started off as the thief, Therian, and it was pretty cool. I got a chance to go along with some of the storyline. I had some combat. This is just for early impressions, so I don't have a lot of hours into it to really give a full-on review. But I really dug the mechanics of it. I could see how it could get a little grindy, but one of the coolest features I'll tell you is that it's not just you line up your guys on one side and you fight the enemies on the other. The enemies on the other side have what's called guards. They got shields on them, and they take damage reduction based upon these shields. So you have to figure out which of your abilities can actually knock down their shield so that you can do full damage to them and kill them. So like some of them might be susceptible to fire. So you hit them with fire, it'll do this like big dramatic like shield break, and like they'll lose one of their shields from there. So you might stack that up. Some are like, you know, you attack them with an axe, or some you attack with daggers, or it's just like different things that they're vulnerable to. And you have to figure out, okay, what's this enemy vulnerable to? Otherwise, you really can't kill them. So that's a neat mechanic. That way, you're not just going in every fight just mashing A until you win. There is some thought process that goes along with it. Apparently, I'm not the only person that was impressed by the game. Amazon is currently on back order for over 2 months.
I did hear that.
On a physical copy of the game. You cannot buy this game anywhere. Nintendo admitted they messed up. They have not nearly enough physical copies for the people that want them.
Let's be honest. When has Nintendo ever put out enough physical copies for any game?
Sure. But this one, I think this one has a lot of the nostalgia going for it. So if you're an old school Final Fantasy fan, or even like Chrono Trigger or something like that, this is a game that kind of follows in that similar...
Classic RPG.
Yeah, classic RPGs. I think you'll have a lot of fun with it.
It almost reminded me of Tactics, and at least the art style of it. So.
The art style, kind of, yeah. I'll give that to you. It looks like old school, you know. The fact that it's 3D kind of changes it. Like, it doesn't feel quite as flat as, you know, some of what you'd see in, like, Final Fantasy 6 or 4 or 5. Right. It's unique. I've never really seen any other game quite like it because it goes like forced retro, but with like really impressive graphical tricks that it uses.
Maybe this will be a kick in Nintendo's butt to put out another Paper Mario, which I'm waiting for.
Like Maybe. A good one though, like a good one.
Good one. Like all these Sticker Star and those are
Paper Jam.
Paper Jam.
I'm with you. I'm with you, Brandon. I'm with you. Or another Super Mario RPG. Bring it old school.
Yeah,
but just bring it. Yeah. Looking forward to an actual review then, I guess, maybe next week or maybe 2 weeks from now, something like that.
Yeah, I'm probably I might not go too much further into it. I think just kind of throwing it out there that, hey, I'm having fun with it.
Having fun with it,
yeah. We go from there. How about some actual reviews for people that have time to play games?
Yeah, so we take, I would say weekly. This has been 2 weeks now of some game scores that have been released for games that have been released maybe 2 weeks ago or something like that. This week, Sonic Mania Plus has been released, and that's for PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. That includes Sonic 1, 2, 3, Sonic Knuckles, and Sonic the Hedgehog CD, all in one bundle.
Nice.
That got on Metacritic 87. I can see that because really that's all the Sonics you really ever could need, other than maybe Sonic Adventure, which is on the Dreamcast, and Sonic Adventure 2. But these are the old school ones right here. So 87. That's a really high score. Mm-hmm. And user score 8.4. So it's about the same.
Cool.
Next thing is on the list. We have Vermintide 2 on the Xbox. So Vermintide was released on PC maybe like 2-3 months ago. I would say maybe more than that. But on the Xbox One, got a 78. And I've been hearing just really good things. It's basically like the Left 4 Dead for
it's a
like medieval
stuff.
Dead,
yeah.
And the Warhammer.
So if you're interested in a medieval Left 4 Dead, if you have Game Pass, maybe you didn't cancel your subscription after Sea of Thieves, it's free under that. So there's another game that you could look into. I had a lot of fun with Vermintide. It's like a quick hit type of game. You can go in, play it for like 15, 20 minutes, and be done with the section. So it's a cool game, a lot of fun.
And of course, your Octopath Traveler. What do you think that got? I think
I think it got an 8.7.
I would say it's probably 88, something like that. The
really?
80s somewhere.
Yeah, you're right. 84 for Metacritic.
Yeah, I know. I looked it up before I bought it. I'm
like,
can this really be that good?
It's out of 43 critic scores, so that's pretty high, actually, on Metacritic. There's a lot of critics that rated it, so 84. User score, 8.2. 409 ratings, so that's a lot of ratings there, too.
Yeah.
So put it in perspective that it is a great game. 8 is like a great game. Great game.
Oh, it's definitely a great game. I can't go... I want to give it more love, but I'm like, it's too early for me to just like totally sell out for it.
Then you got your throwback from the Wii U, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker on the Switch.
I do want to check this Switch.
Oh,
I
it's so
love-
good. I had it on the Wii U. It was awesome.
Yeah, I bought it on the Wii U. I played it with my daughter. She loved it. She loves Toad now, and it is a great game. It's a great puzzle game. I think they did add some new things to the Switch version as well.
The Wii U version you could use Amiibo with to unlock more things. So you could actually, like, if you found like certain icons, you could go and unlock it, and you get like extra stuff that you can unlock on your Wii U. I don't know how they're doing it on Switch, but there was that what was it called, Mario Retro or something like that, and you can go play like Mario, like jump around like Zelda levels. It was nutty. But you could unlock it with Treasure Toad. It did a whole bunch of kind of augmented reality type of gaming where it's like, oh yeah, you play this game and you unlock this, and all of a sudden, yep, another game to play that's totally out there.
That's good stuff. I recommend it for Switch people that didn't have the Wii U, that didn't have Treasure Toad, or sorry, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. Pick it up. It's pretty great. And the score is an 81 for Metacritic.
That's
48 critics,
and
then the user score 8.2. There you go.
Cool.
So that's for this week.
Good
of
stuff.
games.
Man, we're pretty far out there, so we're going to talk about some movie stuff real fast and probably skip 30 questions. Sorry to disappoint.
30 questions. That's crazy.
Or 20 questions.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's insanity.
Anyway, really the only news that was worthwhile this week is that Billy D. Williams is returning as Lando in Star Wars Episode 9 for Disney to kill him. Presumably, anyway.
What? That wasn't in the notes.
No.
He's coming back.
But yeah, he's coming back. He's going to be in Episode 9.
They have a track record of killing off the old people that show up on the...
Unless you can fly
their
through
movies.
space with the Force, and yeah.
Sounds like something he would do, right? With his cape. So, what else?
Yeah,
Well,
anyway.
I mean, that renewed interest in Lando after the Solo movie, so,
Yeah.
you know, it's...
I mean, I personally
You know,
would have loved to
not-
see him in some of the other ones, but
Like, if they did, like, in the future and just had, like, a little bit of, like, a thing with, like, Harrison Ford and
Yeah.
Billy D. Williams, that would have been kind of cool. Like, way in the future, like, they meet up again. Like, that would have been a cool stinger, but...
yeah. But now,
what are you going to do?
we're just going to bring him back to kill him again.
Yeah, fair
So
enough.
there was a question from chat, and Honkers, if he's still in chat, about the Nathan Fillion, Nathan Drake.
Oh yeah, fan film.
short
Does
film,
I haven't got to
fan
watch
film.
it. Yeah, it's in the same realm of the Ryan Reynolds Deadpool thing that came out before the actual Deadpool movie came out.
Mm-hmm. So basically, I watched a teaser trailer or something. But basically, Nathan Fillion inside a chair just smack talking some thugs, and it's like, I thought it was all right.
Is that why he couldn't be Cade 6 anymore?
He's not Cade 6 anymore.
I forgot to bring that up earlier.
Definitely not Cade 6. So I think it's confirmed.
And they killed him for it. That's what loyalty gets
He
you.
might be back. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah.
I like to hear about this Ant-Man and Wasp, though.
Yeah, let's talk about the actual big good thing that came
Yes.
out 2 weeks ago. Or
The
last
thing
week,
that
I can't
brought
remember.
me joy.
Yeah. Ant-Man and the Wasp. And Rob's got a lot of notes on it, so I might let him take over. But
All right, I'm going to try to go fast,
yeah.
but clear. So I will start off with like the premise. So it picks up 2 years after the events of Captain America Civil War, but before Infinity War. Very important to keep this in mind if you go watch it 2 weeks after it came out.
Mhm.
We see that Scott Ant-Man, played by Paul Rudd, has been on house arrest since the events of Civil War and has to report in with FBI agent Jimmy Woo, played by Randall Park. Woo is Scott's house arrest officer and somehow in charge of also locating Hope and Hank Van Dyne, or Hank Pym, also known as Wasp and the original Ant-Man. Scott shares custody of his daughter with his ex-wife and her new husband, and several touching scenes where they routinely share group hugs. It seems like that's the only thing these people get together for. Hank Pym, played by Michael Douglas, believes his wife, Janet Van Dyne, played by Michelle Pfeiffer, could still be trapped in the quantum zone. And while Scott was in there at the end of the first Ant-Man film, she imbued Scott with the means to communicate. Scott and Hope Van Dyne, also known as the Wasp, played by Evangeline Lilly, are reunited so that the communication can be observed by Hank and Hope, but plans to get needed tech from evil businessman / restaurateur Sonny Birch, played by Walton Goggins, is thwarted by newcomer Ghost, a.k.a. Ava, played by Hannah John Kamen. She's a phasing martial artist who also seeks the quantum tech for her own needs. Hank seeks the aid of former S.H.I.E.L.D. colleague, Dr. Bill Foster, played by Lawrence Fishburne. It was revealed he is also the original Goliath. Goliath was a giant growing man as part of the S.H.I.E.L.D. initiative and an old school Avenger. So he helps Hank and provides some info on how to trace the quantum phasing villain, Ghost, while providing cover from the FBI, who are responding to a reported sighting of Hank and Hope. Returning are the trio of ex-cons who helped Scott infiltrate cross-technology in the first Ant-Man. Kurt, played by David Dastmalchian. Luis, played by Michael Pena. And Dave, also known as T.I. Tip, in a showdown with Sonny Birch. So that was great to see them come back, because that might have made the movie.
That's one of my favorite parts of the first one.
Yep. The mid-credit scenes are probably the most WTF of all the mid-credit scenes I've ever seen at the end of a Marvel movie.
Was it, though?
You know what? So we'll do spoilers in a little bit, but we're going to give like a lot of warning ahead of time. Although since it's been 2 weeks, maybe it's not quite as breaking news as when I first typed this up.
Yeah.
So what do you think of it, Brandon? You saw it too.
Yeah, I watched it too. I loved it. I was a big fan of the first one when the first one came out because of how different it is. It's not your typical superhero.
It's kind of like a family-friendly superhero movie. And I think you got to go in knowing that. Like, this is not your Dark Knight. It's not even Avengers. This is really light. It is kind of poppy.
And it's I don't know. They always have this heist or it's a heist. They always feel like a heist theme where they have to go. They go pull off a big heist, and that's really cool, different for a superhero movie. And, and they're kind of maybe they're on the gray side of the good and bad guy scale sometimes.
Sure, they are on the bad side of the Civil War, the Sokovia Accords.
Yeah.
Hank Van Dyne and Hope Van Dyne and Hank Pym are being chased by.
I mean, they are criminals in this movie, so
they are criminals, so they're being chased. And Paul Rudd
there's ex-cons.
Yeah, and that's why he has the house arrest and the funny scenes with him with an ankle bracelet.
Those are great. Those are great. But yeah, I think my biggest wish is that we get a whole MCU recap by Luis, because those had to be some of my favorite parts of the Ant-Man movies.
So if for those that maybe haven't seen the second one, in the first movie, Luis talks about how he came across this information to break into Hank Pym's house to steal to break into the safe. And it's kind of a comical thing where people are talking to each other, but he's doing his voice over. And it's like, it's
really quick, really fast.
We went in and we talked to them, and they said, "What's up?" So there's like a whole bunch of that going on. And probably one of my favorite ones is I walked into my prison cell and there's a guy named Sky who goes, "Hey, yo, what's up? We're both in prison together, but we're gonna be best friends." Yo, so funny.
They're funny.
Yeah, it was a good time. It was great. It was great seeing them back again.
Yeah, overall, 8 out of 10 for me.
8 out of 10. I wanted to give it a little bit more, but I just feel like it's not serious enough. And maybe on repeat viewings, I might be like, why are they're going so kiddie with it in a lot of ways. I could have even gone a little bit higher, but I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I think it's better than the original, mainly because there's more. There's just more to it. Like him running with the sweater through the elementary school. It's one of the funniest visuals I've ever seen. And I absolutely love Walton Goggins as an actor. I love him in in The Hateful Eight, where he was kind of a bad guy in there. And he's also in Vice Principals on HBO, where he's a evil vice principal. Also really funny there. And there's this whole thing with Truth Serum that absolutely cracks me up.
Yeah.
And his admission at the end of the movie that it
was Truth Serum.
I've committed health violations. They would shock you. Like the way he delivers that line, just absolutely. I just fell in love with him all over again. He's so funny, and he's such a good character actor. I love seeing him.
If you can't tell, this is a great movie. It's really fun.
Yeah, super fun. Really light. I mean, this is even lighter than Thor Ragnarok. So,
yeah,
get ready for not a lot of high stakes, not really anything too mature. in content. But you could watch this with the entire family, and everyone would have a great time, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's a good movie. Good movie.
Cool.
Yeah. Do you want to do the whole spoilery thing right now?
Yeah. So if you, so are we doing anything else after this? Just their goodbyes and stuff?
Just bye. Yeah. Basically.
Okay. I feel like I might have time for 20 questions, but anyway.
We're at hour 15, almost hour 15.
Okay, I think we're all right. So right now, if you are adverse to being spoiled, stop now or skip forward 2 minutes. Let's just say 2 minutes, right?
Yeah, it's going to be really quick, really fast.
And Andrew, you're going to get spoiled on this too because you didn't go see it in the theaters.
Well, I can just do this.
So skip 2 minutes now. Okay. So in the mid-credit sequence of Ant-Man, because they always have their stingers and stuff at the end of the movies, they showed Ant-Man going into the quantum zone to fetch quantum magic or powers or something to help out Ghost. They end up befriending Ghost and kind of helping her at the end. While he's in there, he loses communication with the Wasp, the original Ant-Man, and the original Ant-Man's wife. The
Squad. He loses
basically loses contact with all them. And you start wondering, well, why is he not able to reach back? And they pan back, and they're all evaporated in the dust.
Oh,
just like
was anybody truly wondering, though? I mean, I went to this movie, and I'm like, I know this movie is before Infinity War, but in the credit sequence, they're going to snap somebody, and it's because he's in the next one, and this is going to be how he goes into the next one. I'm not sure.
Didn't feel so good, huh?
It was so. I think just the way it was presented, the timing of it really got me because I was like, "Oh my god!" Like I wasn't ready for it because I just been having so much fun, laughing and having a good time. And it's like snap, they're gone. It's like
I was surprised it was 3 out of 4. I was really surprised it was 3 out of the 4.
Yeah,
well, I was like, 2.
So another thing, we gotta wrap it up quick. One thing that's unique about this is that Ant-Man is the only person not in the original Avengers to not disappear. When Thanos snapped his fingers, everyone except for the original Avengers died. So, Spider-Man, Black Panther, all of them. Ant-Man's the only one that didn't. So that's unique in that way. No. Everyone else that wasn't an original Avenger in terms of like Marvel superhero went into dust.
Iron Man?
He was an original Avenger.
No. People who are not an original got dusted.
Oh, not an original. I understand now. I got you.
Sorry, I'm trying to go fast to like.
He did kind of word it weird, but.
Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, so anyone coming back, we did not spoil anything too bad.
No, it's not too bad.
No, and actually we're just over 2 minutes. So.
Yeah. Do you guys want to do 20? I mean, we're at an hour 15. It'd be really fast.
Give us an easy one.
An easy one?
Who is it? Is it your turn?
It's my turn.
I think it's his.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay. All right. Let's go.
Let's just so the rules are, if we get close enough, just wrap it up.
I'll give it to you. All right.
Are you and you're clearing this stuff out, right? Like you're gonna cut this from the podcast? I hope.
Oh, what?
You gotta do some editing on the podcast.
Why?
To cut out all this BS of us talking towards the end.
No. It's fine. So again, a sneak peek behind the scenes. That's what we do.
We're so unprofessional, y'all.
We are.
Oh, right, we're so professional. What are you talking about? Look at this. Look at this layout. It's
After the year 2000.
Yes.
Before the year 2005. I even cut it even closer.
No.
Okay, so it's after.
So after 2005. Or 2005 or after.
Yeah, I was thinking
after 2010?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're newer.
Xbox 360 era, I think, right? I'm thinking
360.
Yeah.
I mean anything, right?
PS3. Yeah.
Switch potentially.
What? 2010.
After 2010.
Oh, it's after. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yep. You're good at this game.
I'm good. I'm great.
Okay.
Does your character wear a hat?
After 2015.
No.
Okay. So we got a 5-year gap in here. I think really the main story might be the 2013 because that's your PS4, Xbox One crossover. So let's say after 2013.
No.
Okay. So wow, we got it like within like a 2-year gap here, 2010 through 2012.
I know I'm using meta here. Brandon likes RPGs. Is this an RPG?
No.
What?
Is it a platform exclusive?
No.
Okay.
Multi-platform, PS4 era.
Xbox.
Well, yeah, it's a platform.
Xbox
exclusive,
360, PC. I guess Wii U in there.
possibly. Is this a shooter?
This is not a shooter.
Sorry about this.
Yeah, you're ruining everything.
I'm ruining
You're
it.
terrible at this.
Well, you can do it.
Is this a? Okay, so I'm feeling like he might be going more towards like. Is this on a? So it's not a platform exclusive. Ooh. Is this published by Ubisoft?
It is not.
Is this published by
EA.
Activision?
It is not.
Man.
Well,
I'm not
which,
sure.
which
We
one?
should do genres, man. We should do. I don't know.
No, which question did you use?
To Rob's. To Rob's.
Mine.
Okay.
Do you want to ask yours?
Don't count the other one. Don't count the other one.
Well, I'm just looking at the biggest, the bigger publishers, right? So
Well, it could be a lot. I mean, if it's RPG, it's not Square Enix.
multi-platform. It's on something large.
Yeah. But like genre-wise, or even we can go to gameplay. Can you create your character?
No.
So it's a main character storyline based sort of thing.
We don't know.
Does
It
it have
could be a sports game. It
does
could be
it have a multiplayer in it?
No.
So it's a single player experience.
Single player.
experience.
Is it published by
Non-RPG.
EA?
About who?
EA?
No.
Ooh, okay. Multi-platform.
Okay, at that point, is it considered an indie title?
Or is that a question?
Yeah, is this considered an indie title?
No, I would not consider this indie.
So it's not published by the huge names. But
It
it's
might
not-
be. It might be. We just didn't get the right one. So it wasn't
Well, you said
Ubisoft.
you-
It wasn't Activision.
Wasn't EA? You said EA.
Wasn't
too,
EA.
so-
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at this point, you're talking like maybe
Nintendo.
Square, Squeenix.
You're at 14, by the way.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Single player experience. Single player. Can't build your
Single-player
character.
experience, no multiplayer.
Non-RPG, not a shooter.
Is it published by Square Enix?
No.
No, because that would be an RPG, man.
Not necessarily. They got
No,
like
I mean they all make
get
is
so many
RPGs.
games.
I mean, they
so
got
many-
Tomb Raider and stuff like that. They're not all RPGs.
That's like a
we didn't even
RPG
say.
light.
Oh, but Bethesda's not EA, is it?
No.
No,
Bethesda's
no,
not
no,
like-
no, no.
Okay. So is it published by Bethesda?
No.
Dang it, man! It's not a shooter either.
I'll tell you what,
okay,
we're not
so
going to get it.
we're not
but
gonna get
be
this.
Fast about it.
yeah, okay.
Y'all are doing really good.
No, we're not. We got like answered no. To, like,
we have
7
no
questions.
idea.
There's
yeah,
not a lot
yeah.
left.
Does your character wield? Does your character wield a weapon? Wield a weapon?
Not in a traditional sense.
Not in a traditional sense, Rob. What
He
does that
holds it
mean?
with his butt.
Okay, I understand now.
Yes.
Yeah,
Not in a traditional sense a weapon.
not in a traditional sense a weapon.
Oh, that could be like Bayonetta or something. Oh, no. Okay.
They all have weapons. It's all
Yeah.
weapons.
All right, so multi-platform. We don't know what type of game it is. We just know who it's not put out by.
We know it's not an RPG, not a shooter.
It's not a shooter, not an RPG.
You can't build your character. It's a single player experience.
Single-player experience.
It's in
Is
the
it-
it's in the realm of PS4 era.
Yeah,
It's
is it a
360.
platformer?
It's 3. It is not a platformer.
Okay.
Give us a hint.
Give us a-
No, you don't know. No hints.
Your guys are close. I mean, your guys are almost out of questions.
Close? What? Oh,
Close
actually,
to losing.
Close to losing.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Um,
All right, so it's not a platformer. Is it a sports game?
It is not a sports game.
It's a single player experience. Why would it be a sports game? Why would
There's
it be
tons of sports games.
the
that are
single player
sports games.
experiences?
Yes.
Name
Racing
one.
games and stuff.
Oh, okay. I
There,
guess
you
so.
got you on that one.
The racing games.
Yeah,
I
got you
see.
good.
Fine. If you consider that a sport, it's fine. I understand.
Curling,
Okay.
the game.
It could be lacrosse.
Is this our
20
18? Is this our guess or no? We have one more. We have one more.
You guys have one more, yeah.
Okay.
It has to be
All
the
right.
guess.
We have to blow. Oh, we have what?
So
This is
we
the
have to
guess.
Just guess it.
Right now is the guess.
I mean,
Or
you
we
can
have
ask,
one more.
I guess I'll let you ask one more and then guess.
Oh, he's so nice.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Okay. Is this game a racer?
No, it's not a racer.
Why did you ask that? That's a sports game.
That was the stupidest question. Ask something else.
Is this game not a racer game?
What are you?
I'm just. Does it have Octo in it?
It does not.
I'm just curious to see multi-platform because you'd be talking about like cell phones or something. I'm gonna be so mad.
All right, so this is Batman Arkham City.
Okay, that's a great game.
Yeah,
love it.
Yep.
Wasn't that put out by?
It was published by Warner Brothers.
Oh yes.
Yep. And it was
Warner Brothers.
It was on the 360, PlayStation 3, and the Wii U on release.
You know, I love that game, but I feel like that would have had a.
We're bad. We're just bad. We're just bad.
Yeah, we just
we're just terrible.
It's an action adventure single player.
It's an action adventure single player experience.
You know what, Brandon,
doesn't have
you put
multiplayer.
the pressure on us. I'm gonna remember this next week when it's my turn. I'll be like, all right, you guys got 5 minutes. Go. 20 questions.
All right,
go.
Let's close this bad boy out.
Let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
So really PixelPub Gaming. This is all part of our community. It's just PixelPub. We Talk Nerd podcast. You can find all the information on our website, pixelpubgaming.com. That's pixelpubgaming.com. There's a lot of new stuff on there. Some highlights are, of course, the Destiny 2 clans still growing, still going strong. The Warframe clan, like we mentioned before, we have 2, PC and PS4, going strong, growing every single day, and that community is on fire. I can tell you, if you join this community, you will feel at home. Same with the Bad Mom Jammas. They're getting into the Discord. They're doing some community raids already, and I have to say
that was interesting.
We're looking at, in my opinion, like a really fantastic WoW community. So if you're playing WoW, you're getting ready for BFA, you need to join this community. All that information is right on
currently down on Battle.net.
Well, communities, but we have a community inside there.
Is down. They'll not be up later.
I also have to plug, which is simply amazing, is our basically our game servers that we host, Arc, and then we also have Starbound, we have Minecraft, we have Gary's Mod now. I mean, just have to say, like, these games really exemplify, like, we're trying to bring the community together and do some really cool stuff with those smaller games and those servers. Yep. So yeah, all the information on the website. Join the Discord. Discord invites there too.
Yeah, we have an amazing community, guys.
We could.
Sure. Yeah, an amazing community. So proud to be a part of it. One thing of note, we're now on Google Podcast. That is kind of new. So if you're looking for a podcast streamer, you're not happy with the one you got, check out Google. Leave us a review. Anything helps to help spread the word.
Yep.
Tell your friends about us.
Talk about it in the community.
And talk back to us. We've got a channel. So on PixelPub.
I'm currently taking game suggestions. I'm gonna probably every week, if I get enough suggestions, try a game out every week from the community and see how that goes.
Sounds
Barbie
good.
Racehorse Adventure.
Please do. Yeah, that'd be from me.
And the last thing, you got 100% it.
Oh no.
The last thing is we're almost to 10K members in Discord.
That's amazing.
Put that out there. It's really amazing for our community. And that's it for us, man. I say that's a lot. It's a lot this week.
So we'll see you guys later.